The church wasn't a neutral player in colonization. It was a propaganda arm in the empire, preaching obedience while the land was being stolen. 1652, the Dutch East Indian Company, or the VOC, set up a refreshment station in the Cape. But make no mistake, this wasn't a pit stop. It was the start of a land grab. What followed was invasion, war, and enslavement of the indigenous people. And right there, alongside the colonizers, was the Dutch Reformed Church. Not sent to convert, but to justify and reinforce the racial hierarchy created. Their theory was clear. Enslaved Africans and indigenous people were seen as heathen, unworthy of baptism, unless they gave up their languages, culture, customs, and entire worldviews. Christianity in their hands became a tool of exclusion and assimilation. This is why it's important to understand Christianity did not arrive in South Africa as a neutral faith, serving the same goal as the traders, the soldiers, and the settlers. It arrived as part of the colonization package: control, obedience, and erasure of indigenous identity. Nearly 85 years after the Dutch arrival, the first European missionary arrived. His name was George Smit, a Moravian from Germany who arrived in 1737. He settled in Genadendal in the Western Cape, preaching and teaching indigenous people how to read and translate scripture. He baptized the first black Christians in the Cape, a radical act at the time, but it didn't last. In 1744, he was expelled, not by the state, but by the Dutch Reformed Church, who refused to accept black Christian. Why? Because in their system, Christianity was reserved for the masters, not the enslaved. Baptism implied equality, and equality was a threat to colonial order. Because how can you beat a slave to a pulp during the week, and on a Sunday, they're your equal? That's when the strategy began to shift. Missionaries realized if you really want control, start with the chiefs and the elites. So they targeted chiefs with promises of peace and protection and access to modernity. But what they really demanded in return was cultural surrender. Once a chief converted, the rest of the community was expected to follow. Many were relocated to mission stations, controlled spaces where they were taught to read, dress, speak, pray, and live like Europeans. It wasn't just a place of worship. They were labs of assimilation, designed to create a new kind of colonized subject, loyal to the empire, disconnected from land, language, and ancestry. The gun came first, but the Bible made sure we didn't fight back. In my next video, we'll go a little bit deeper in terms of what exactly happened in these mission stations and how this soft conquest shaped Black identity as we know it for generations to come.